Hey guys, what's going on? BigCuriBox12 here, and welcome back to another Realm of the Mad God guide video. Today we're talking about the Cnidarian Reef, a dungeon that was released quite a while ago now and can be found in the Court of Oryx. This of course means that this is a once per realm dungeon, meaning that the white bags and other drops can be quite rare. Notable among these are a scepter and a poison, as well as a skin that now drops as of Month of the Mad God, which is actually quite cool. Upon entering the dungeon, you will encounter an open, circular room with the Royal Cnidarian sitting stationary in the center. After waiting a few seconds, as to provide time for players to enter the dungeon, the Cnidarian will activate. She begins the fight by spawning a circular array of minions that will move outwards to circle the room before attacking. You have to attack the orange minion and kill it before the boss will become vulnerable. Once this first minion is killed, the boss transitions into its first vulnerable phase, which will also be the hardest phase you encounter during this fight. During this phase, the boss will begin shooting shotgun attacks, and the minions will begin alternating between closely circling the boss and circling the far outside of the room. Be careful, their shots can be very dangerous as one of them sickens. During the phase in which the minions circle the far outside of the room, it is best to stay close to the boss and often tank parts of the weaker armor-piercing shotgun, as to avoid the very dangerous and deadly attacks shot off by the minions. As you likely noticed in the footage, during the phase in which the minions closely circle the boss shoots a tighter and more dense shotgun that does far more damage than simply tanking one of the 175 armor pierces. I highly recommend trying to avoid this at all costs, often circling the boss quickly so the shotgun fires behind you. Something I have failed to mention until now is that your oxygen depletes much faster than it does in the ocean trench. This means it's very important to time your attacks and your retreats so that you always have oxygen, as drowning is very dangerous. Once enough damage has been dealt, the boss will become invulnerable and send out 3 orange minions for you to kill before you can progress to the next phase. Something you may have noticed by now is during phases like this, it's easy to stand just to the side of an air pocket so that you're still getting oxygen, but you dodge the daze shots, making it much easier to survive without having to heal yourself, as well as, of course, increasing your DPS output. As far as handling the 175 armor pierce shotgun, I don't recommend worrying about it too much and just bring a healing class, as spending time trying to dodge it is more time that you're not on an air pocket, not damaging minions, and getting hit by daze shots. The next phase is the tentacles phase, and on your first few attempts at this dungeon, it will be the scariest, and you will most likely Nexus like I did on my first few attempts, but as you get the hang of it, you can see that there's a simple and easy pattern to it, and it's not hard to dodge the minions. During this phase, I cannot stress enough how important it is to stay close to the boss and stay far away from the minions. The pink minions in this phase switch from shooting a powerful AoE attack to firing off shots of 2 pink bullets, as you probably see. Those do heavy amounts of damage, and combined with the sickened shots from the green minions can quickly be fatal. Similar to the first phases, after enough damage has been dealt, the boss will become invulnerable and send out a group of orange minions that have to be killed before you can progress in the fight. During this phase of invulnerability, your ability to dodge the daze shots is really put to the test, as having enough DPS to quickly kill the orange minions and escape to the next phase is important, as well as the damage adds up over time. For the first time in the fight, the orange minions also have an attack of their own. It causes blindness, but doesn't do very much damage. Try and dodge it, as it interferes with your ability to kill them quickly. This phase may take quite some time, as you are stuck with the rotation of the tentacles, and the orange minions may not always be available for you to attack. After all 5 orange minions have been killed, the boss will move into its final phase, the rage phase. During this rage phase, the boss will begin to chase the nearest player, as the minions do an odd dance-like pattern, moving inwards and then outwards again. The boss fires the same tight and dense and very damaging shotgun attack that it did earlier in the fight, as well as shooting the same paralyze attack that I failed to mention during the first phase. Other than this paralyzed shot, the most important thing to avoid is going to be an AoE shot by the boss that will weaken you. The timing of it makes it very, very difficult to be able to hit the boss if you are not a piercing class. Just as they did earlier in the boss battle, the minions do not target any individual player, or rather any players at all. They simply fire their bullets towards the middle of the arena. This makes it very easy to dodge, as you know what they're going to do beforehand. I recommend focusing your damage on the boss during the times that the minions are on the far outside of the room, and worrying about oxygen during the phase in which the minions are closely circling the boss, as on a non-piercing class it would be nearly impossible to hit any shots anyway. As far as I'm concerned, the best class for this dungeon is easily the Paladin, with its ability to heal even while sickened because it grants additional HP, not simply just healing it, and its higher than average defense being a heavy armor class makes it the ideal choice for all phases of this fight. Once this dance is eventually completed and enough damage has been dealt to kill the boss, it will begin flashing an orange color, and the minions will despawn and the boss will then die, dropping its loot bag for you to collect. You might notice a chest that I kill shortly after the death of the boss. That's because this run was completed during the Cnidarian Reef event, shortly after its release. This is not normal. It does not contain a chest. It only drops loot from the boss, so make sure to get your SB damage in before the boss dies. As you have likely guessed and noticed by the amateurish quality of this video, this is the first video I am making, and it was a very fun experience to make, and I will be making more in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to check out the next video whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. Alright? See ya!